I've realized recently that I'm a bit of an addict, and that doesn't really get seen as much because all the drugs and stuff that I use are kind of non-addictive substances. But the moment you swap that out for like alcohol, all of a sudden I'm essentially an alcoholic. And I've tried to justify it to myself by being like, oh, you know what? These substances kind of enhance my creativity, which is not false. This is definitely true. It definitely puts me more in a mood to paint and create. That said, I use painting and art and sometimes tricking as a drug in itself. Anytime I'm making art, I'm essentially trying to annihilate myself. I'm trying to forget that I even exist, which is an interesting thing to admit out loud and on camera. Like when I'm making art, I'm essentially trying to get blackout drunk without the alcohol. And uh, what do I even do with that? I feel like it doesn't get questioned as much because there's like a pretty picture that comes out on the other end, you know? The result of me trying to annihilate myself is like a cool picture, ideally, if I've done a good job. But like it's not inherently destructive. I'm not doing anything bad. I'm not creating damage to my body necessarily. Am I damaging my mind? Maybe. I use art to transport me to a place where I hurt less. There's less pain when I'm painting. I can fast forward time. I can lose myself a little bit. I can go into the oblivion and come out like a couple hours later being like, where did the time go? There's something kind of addictive about that. And post-injury, I've been doing more art, but lately I've been having a hard time managing all of it. And there are points where I just so desperately want my old life back. The life where my main concern was really just getting some sleep and eating decently well, and then heading off to the gym 3 times a week, and then just, you know, tricking and trying to progress and trying to express myself with my body in that way. Life was simple, and I miss that. I feel like I've just been exposed to too many things that make me sad. And oh, I kind of just want to go back to when this stuff wasn't bothering me. I have seen levels of loneliness and experienced levels of loneliness that I didn't know were possible. And that's something I'd like to do away with. I hate knowing that certain things will just never be. And I want to go back to that ignorance is bliss part. But at the same time, I realize that I'm actually getting better at art, and I'm getting better at like managing these intense feelings and turning them into something. It's just it requires a certain amount of effort to do that. It requires like a lot of knowledge of what I'm doing mentally in my own head. It requires a lot of reaching out to people, talking to my therapist. And sometimes it's just like I don't want it. I don't want to put in all this effort to go back to baseline. I just want that simple life back. But a friend or a couple of friends have sort of told me that like, hey, you're living life. You're living a fuller, I don't know, range of emotions. And I guess that's kind of what life's about, is experiencing a wider gamut of things. But it's hard when that spectrum is like full of hurt for me. And sometimes it's just like I just kind of want to be a potato and live a very simple, non-artistic life. But I don't know that that's in the cards for me. I think this is just kind of what I was put on this earth to do, and this is what I will do forever. Because in the times that, you know, there's only me, I need to find a way of like, I guess, being okay with that and doing something, I don't know, useful productive with it. Like art, say, is maybe, you know, a productive use of these feelings, this pain. And I guess that's true to an extent. It's like I don't often remember what I was like messed up about when I look at a previous painting. So that's kind of cool. That like I get a souvenir from the pain without actually having to relive the pain. So that's it. That's why I do this. It's not for any other reason. I don't care about art. I would quickly trade art for any of the multitude of wishes that I have, but I cannot do that. So I suppose in the meantime, all I can really do is get better at dealing with change and rolling with the punches and riding the wave and being grateful that the things that have happened are maybe for a reason and are leading me away from something even worse. By now, you might be looking for a more positive video, and I think you'll get that over here because I'm talking about confidence and nice things.